Thanks for zooming in, guys. Sparse crowd today. I think a few more coming in a little bit, but spring break, we get it. I got a few slides to go through real quick, and then we're gonna get to the wonderful, incredible Amy Brock here in just a second. So we're gonna go through this real quick. We do this every time. What's up? What's up, Scotty P? How you doing, Paul?
Hey, how you doing, Mr. Ben?
Doing all right.
I think we're sitting right there.
I'm serious.
I got COVID like 2 years ago. Yeah.
So we only got 7 birthdays, it looks like, in April. Yeah.
No, I know you.
I know.
Yeah, we got Julie and Lauren and Kirsten, Aaron, Forrest, Jennifer, and Adriana. Actually, Julie and Lauren was yesterday when they were both April Fool's babies. That was, am I right? Both those were yesterday. Okay, so be sure to wish them all happy birthday when we see them. For some reason, I lost my clicking. April newcomers, we got Jesse Sams, that's on the Farrell team. Jermira Sanders, who of course is out of Fort Wayne. Chris Stockcamp, he's gonna be out of Fort Wayne. He came over from C-21. Molly Sloan will be with Angie Ricolta in our group. Amelia Dement will also be with Angie Ricolta in the R group. Brenda Shao, she's joined us and she's gonna be in referral at the moment because they may be moving to Michigan. And then Lauren Stanglin joined us literally this weekend. And she will also be with the Farrell group. So if you get a chance, reach out to them, say hello. All right, I want to do 2 bucket fills real quick. If anybody wants to fill a bucket. Zoomers, you're welcome to jump in also. Bucket fill is giving appreciation to somebody. It doesn't have to be somebody in this room, just to give thanks for somebody helping you out, doing something for it. You can fill a bucket.
The new agent,
Jermira.
yes, she's having an open house with you Saturday and I don't think she can.
Oh, good. Okay, so Jermira is doing an open house for Teresa. So that's good. Anybody else with a bucket fill? James? James?
Overwhelmed about how many people are willing to help out, cover, and do things. So just the whole office thinks that it's nice knowing that you can reach out to people. That's just.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Thank you. And Spain was nice, you said?
Let's go. I'll go back.
Now, did y'all just get back from somewhere too? No? I thought y'all were judges from Facebook. So Katie, we'll give you a couple seconds real quick. I got your screen up.
Yeah, trying to make it so you guys can see me. There we go. Hello. Yeah, we got some really nice words from Tiffany Stevens here recently, and I just wanted to share them with you just because it really touched my heart and the reason why we do this, that peace of mind of knowing nothing will be missed. I just love that she spoke about that because, you know, we're taking an aspect of your business that maybe might be stressful for you or might be the part you don't like or something like that. And we're, you know, that's what we do. And so we just enjoy doing that part of it. And so to bring you that peace of mind and just know that everything is taken care of and that you don't have to worry about the paperwork and making sure every line is filled in and all that, all those little details. We love doing that. So I just wanted to share what she said with you guys. So thank you.
Thank you, Katie. Trying to get the HVAC turned off real quick. So we've had the value squared classes, but there's been 2 already. The next one will be April 10th. And, oh, thanks, Aaron. We're going to show them in the office every chance possible. And every one of them will be a little different because there's different questions. there'll probably be changes in the NAR settlement that they'll talk about, so. April 10th, you can register, you can watch it at home. I will have it played here on the big screens also. April 25th will be the one after that. Oh. So I guess if I touch the mouse, it automatically changes. Mega Agent Camp is in Austin, Texas, August 12th through the 15th. If you've never been, it's an incredible experience to go to Mega Agent Camp. It's family reunion without all the fluff. It's just it's focused 100% on education and teaching, market updates. It is well worth the price of admission. So if you're interested in going to Mega Agent Camp, scan that or let me know and I'll get you the links to sign up. If you're not signed up for Bold, sign up for Bold. Oh, is the face okay?
Yeah.
The cross-eyed look, hold on.
That's bold face.
It's my bold face. Hey, Tiffany, how you doing? Congratulations.
Thank you.
She's retired from her other job. Yeah. Congratulations. Serious note, everybody should take Bold. I'm not gonna lie, I don't care where you are in your business. If you're peaking, you should take Bold. It's gonna increase your habits, increase your mindset, help even build systems. It's even gonna help you get some time back, if that makes sense, because I know some of you to a point, your business is where you want it to be, but you may want to learn how to get some time back and leverage a little bit, so it can help you with that also. But Bold the class, as Aaron says, he wishes Bold lasted 6 months instead of 7 weeks, and then we restarted it again after that 6 months was over. Because it's a great class. Like I've talked to people who've taken it 28 times. And every time they take it, their business goes up and improves their life a little bit.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So my problem has always been the schedule, so can you miss a class and make it up?
Yes, they have different ways that you can make up if you miss a class.
Okay,
Bold has what they call like a 3 strikes, but you can get a strike back by doing certain things.
okay.
One of them is singing in front of the classroom. But no, I'm kidding. But there are ways to make it up.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, at 1 o'clock, we're gonna have, hey Billy, hey man, we're gonna have a RPR class, I think. Mallory, is that led by Michael?
Today?
Yeah, the RPR, yeah, Michael Vandegrift is leading RPR class at 1 o'clock. So that's a very helpful tool. We will have lunch in between also. Isaac's working on that right now.
And
Yes,
Michael, yesterday he said 2 to 4. I don't know if that's correct, but that's when he was setting his.
maybe 2 to 4, like Atlantic time.
It's 1 to whatever.
Okay, he just told me.
That's
that.
there.
Just double checking.
Oh, then it's 2.
What's that?
It's 2, because
It says central time.
Okay.
Oh, it does say central on the graphic.
Mine was correct.
No problem. Just checking.
So it's 2 to 4? 2 to 4, so it's not right after. So we get to eat lunch for an hour and a half.
Use lead gen.
Lead gen, thank you. Lead gen for an hour and a half. We'll ring the bell for every appointment we set in between. We did have a bell in that. Yep. So Thursday, your ALC is coming in to teach 6 personal perspectives. Brian's leading the KWU class, so Brian's not gonna be one of the 6 personal perspectives, but myself, I get to be accountable one. They left that one to me. So the other ALC members will be teaching one of each of the perspectives. If you've never taken this class, I highly recommend it. We're gonna start teaching it 1 time a quarter at least, and the ALC is gonna lead it each time. Of course, switching one of the perspective. It's one of the core classes of Keller Williams. It's a really great class. So that'll start at 9 o'clock Thursday morning. South Bend meeting is gonna be Tuesday the 9th. Okay, yeah, and the Keys are gonna come up there with us. They want to talk to the South Bend agents about some potential land up there, so thank you for putting that up there, Miller. Who did it? Isaac, thank you for putting that up there. So of course, our certification classes, if you haven't done these, we have our inspection masterclass, mortgage and title masterclass. And that's next Tuesday as well.
Yeah, I think everybody chooses.
Everybody here's covered. Teresa's covered. Yep, everybody here's covered. You haven't taken those? Well, come on by Tuesday and you take them.
We're bringing in a representative from each spot, so there's, inspections, master class.
Oh.
It's something we probably. So, and then the same mortgage, and then Angie teaches title class, so.
Right.
That's next Tuesday.
Yeah, it'll be Tuesday, starts at 9. And we do that, every other Tuesday, right? Or the second Tuesday of each month? Second Tuesday of every month. So if you can't come to all three, you want to come to another one. And it doesn't hurt to come to them again, if you've been to them once before, because things change, right? Of course, on the 16th, we're gonna do our next team meeting, Agent Mastermind. I have an idea what it's gonna be about, but I'm not gonna announce it yet, so we'll keep it a secret. So Shannon Dager, Isaac picked an amazing picture of Shannon she told us to take one off Facebook.
Don't ever tell us to take a picture out of Facebook.
Right, yeah. So she's coming up from Cincinnati to teach leverage. Shannon I like the joke, she had John Maxwell open for her at the Mega Agent Summit we had, because she literally spoke immediately after John Maxwell. The room was a little lighter than it was. But she's also been on stage at Family Reunion, so she's a very good educator, loves what she does. She'll be up here to teach leverage series on April 23rd.
Anybody that happy drinking water out of wine glass, they're my kind of people.
Yeah. Okay, this is a surprise slide. What's this one? Did you put this on there?
Nope. Looks like you can get a CE credit.
CE credit, okay, yep. CE credit, North Office from 9 to 1:30 on April 30th and May 1st. Oh, wait, we talked about this one.
It's RECP's, IAR benefit to us through RECP is free continuing ed. So we'll do that on April 30th and May 1st, up at the North Office.
Okay.
Man, that's an old picture of the North Office.
Yeah, all right, so is this where I'm supposed to give out awards for people that came? Okay,
Because we had the award ceremony,
uh-huh.
so that kind of took place of when I was normally get these out, so they're running awards.
See Jennifer, Derek Schneider, Scott Pressler is here. Scott Pressler got an award for second most listings taken in February.
Nice.
See, Jody's not here, Brandon. Boone said he'd be here. Anybody see Boone? Jennifer, Brandon, nobody came. These are a lot of out of towners. All right, that was quick. So for third highest written volume, team group, visibility group. Let's see. Oh, third highest closed volume also. for visibility. Is that it? Okay.
And then the next file, Scott has another.
It's gonna, okay. Go back over here before I get there.
So these are the next.
These are.
I have slides.
I'll get to them, but I gotta be my hand.
After.
Yeah, they're gonna see them all that.
That I put after.
With your cute effort, we appreciate your effort. Thank you very much.
I want to see the slide. I want to see the
You
slide.
wanna see the slides?
Each little individual pose.
Yeah, there's the award. And so we do what we call them a hat trick instead of a home run, like KWRI calls them. And so that is a closed unit, a listing, and a under contract in the same month.
If you go to that slide that says.
I-
One more,
That one?
yeah.
Look at, oh, there's Boone. He missed his certificate, so he didn't get one then.
Hey,
So Aaron Hoover got a hat trick.
hey, all right. Hey.
That's
Good, good.
Brittany here, sometimes she's hard to find sometimes. Brittany back here?
No.
Let's see, that's James Reeser. No, you ain't here anywhere? No? See? Randy Group will be here, Scott Pressler. All right, well, let's go through them. And what's that?
And that's all we go goes.
Do you want me to read the quote? Is that what you're saying? Okay. Enjoying success requires the ability to adapt. Only by being open to change will you have a true opportunity to get the most from your talent.
Yeah,
By
that's good.
the GOAT, Nolan Ryan. And there's no argument there, Boone. He's the GOAT.
I love the video that he got. How to leave all the place and it's so good.
Oh, yeah. It just took a line drive off the face and finished the game. You had to put the Go Cubs up there? What's? All
There you go, man.
right. Did I mention bold?
What is that?
Every 5 slides is a bullet.
If you're not signed up for bold, see Mallory, she'll sign you up for bold. I have taught her a really great script. It's called the headlock script. So if you go in there, she'll get you to sign up for bold. Your ears might hurt, but it works. It's a great script. If you do have
It starts on the 18th, right?
the 11th,
The 11th is the first class?
the 11th is the first class. Yeah. It's at Pine Valley Country Club from 9 to 2:30. It's every Thursday, except for the week of Red Day. So Red Day is gonna be on May 9th on a Thursday, so we'll be bold on May 8th, that Wednesday of that week.
So would you recommend I wait till the next bowl, because I'm gonna miss the first meeting?
You'll be fine. If you miss the 11th, that's fine.
Oh, because
Yeah.
I'm gonna be in the rain that, leave that day.
You can commute back for the.
There's bold.
There's bold land. Yeah, but no, we'll get you made up. If you can sign up, we'll get you made up. I highly advise it.
Might be like 4 bowls in that.
Yeah, probably so. So that's the slideshow I've got. We did have an award for Boone, didn't we?
Yeah.
I thought you threw it away.
Did I throw it away? Let me see if I can find it and then we'll get, Miss Brock up here. Debating on whether I want to pull her up or not, because I'm pretty sure she's gonna make fun of me a lot. Aaron Boone for third highest written volume individual.
Wow.
So do you guys not have the volume?
We haven't been doing that on the thing, no.
Well, the only reason I'm gonna push back,
Push back, go ahead.
I'm gonna push back, because when you, some people have said to me, "Amy, it's discouraging," and I say, "Oh, no, I think it's just the opposite. I think it makes you get something to envision for yourself, especially you who are newer agents, right? And so I kind of think it gives me something, I'm a team owner, to strive for my team when I see another team doing better than me. It doesn't discourage me at all, and I know everybody's different, but we get to choose how we see things, right? So I would tell you, because I'm sitting here thinking, well, how much did you do? That's what inquiring minds, right? Can I start?
So, well, let me give you the grand introduction.
Okay, give me, yeah,
Okay.
like there is one,
Right,
right?
Amy Brock. Now, Amy's a great friend of mine. She actually knew my wife for a few years
Oh, golly.
before me because my wife is an amazing massage therapist and Amy's been going to her forever.
Like 11 years.
Yeah. So she's known Amy a lot longer than I have, but Amy was, probably one of the best realtors, if not the best realtor in my previous market center in Paducah. She's got a real nice team. She follows it really close to model. Close.
I'm gonna tell you where I break the law when I get to that slide.
But she's an amazing realtor, an amazing educator, and she's super passionate and she loves big. So that's why I wanted her to come up here and talk to you guys, because she's really incredible at what she does. So please, Amy Brock.
Does everybody have a questionnaire? Okay, and so Ben, I'm gonna have you go through the music as it's playing, because I want you all to fill it out. Be honest with yourself, because if you're not, it's not gonna help you one bit. And while you're playing through my music, because we're gonna sing in that era, I'm just gonna give you handouts, okay? So Ben, would you go through each song? And it's about 10 or 12 seconds. You gotta turn it louder.
Did I mention she was bossy?
You gotta start at the very beginning, Jen. Because this is how I feel about the people here. No, that's not the first one.
Listen, I'm gonna start stretching. We hadn't got into it in a while. We're just gonna go at it right here. No, yeah, hold on, man. Let me get ready. So you want me to back up?
Yeah, to the very first one. And do it in the order. The ball. He's on the solo bus, guys. The 50 habits of highly successful people to turn it over, because I really want to focus on that. The other one.
Hey, Danny.
Already gonna miss you.
Yeah, Danny needs a hand out there, Amy.
Okay, does everybody have the 50 habits of highly successful people and then the habits through and follow through? Who does not? Oh, sorry.
What is that? I know, it's because mine are better.
Which one are you on?
I don't know.
Sooner or later, grassroots. Okay, that's a good one. Okay.
Yeah.
Mallory.
Goodness, did I hand out my answer key? Does somebody have my answer key? I have to have my answer key. Let me see if it's in my file folder. It might be over here. Of course, no, not that one. I did. I handed out my answer key to somebody. No, I didn't. My answer key's right here. We're all good.
There you go.
Okay, so guys, so in order for me to come, I had to agree to do this. And it makes me giggle, because Ben Crenshaw is incredible. He's one of a kind. He's the best team leader ever. He's humble. I question that one. He's witty. He's witty and fun. He's an exceptional golfer. I've never golfed with him, so that might be a lie. He's a great recruiter. I do know that to be true. And I miss you, Ben. So Ben was my team leader for 5 years. I was stuck with him for 5 years, but I really do miss you around the office. It's not the same. Our team leader is up and coming and he's doing good. So can I have the clicker?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is my team. We're small but mighty. And the people start scrolling down, who's what. Haley is actually right here. And Autumn is our transaction coordinator, listing assistant. She just got licensed. Jane is our new hire, our marketing specialist in our customer care. And Austin did so good. So I was a productivity coach. I'm going to tell you just a little bit about me for 6 years. And only 2 caught my attention in all those 6 years, and it's these 2. And, I started interviewing, going through career visiting, to put him on the team. And Austin's been with me, I think 2 years. He's probably my longest standing. This is a little bit of some of what we've done. I struggled with that GCI because my GCI really was $432,070. But I'm a Dave Ramsey endorsed local provider realtor for 6 years in June. And he got $57,000 of my GCI. So it is what it is. It's a good gig and I'll say it. Our production, our goal was at 100 and we missed it by 8 units. So we're striving for 125 units this year. I think you always need to reach for the stars, and you'll land on the moon probably, and we did. So yeah, our goal is 22.5 million this year. And, so I need to push this forward, right? Okay, so we all have a story and here's mine. I was born and raised in Wyoming. I'm a quarter horse cattle rancher's daughter. So I can really relate to this area up here. Interesting fact, my father is in the Wyoming Cowboy Hall of Fame. He was inducted in September of 2018. He was the real deal. I'm kind of proud of that because my family homesteaded from Chillicothe, Ohio, in a covered wagon. And so after we lost my dad, I found the account of my great aunt Maud. She was one of the 5 children. They had $1 to their name in that covered wagon, and 8 children were born after they got there, and my grandfather was number 10. So it's real interesting. I'm one of 4 or 5 girls, raised in a very dysfunctional family. I tell you that for a reason. You can overcome your dysfunction. I'm married to my high school sweetheart. You're gonna see him in a minute. Now the husband of my youth, 41 plus years, dated since I was 16, he was 18. I'm a mom to twin daughters and 1 son, a Mimi, to 9 grandchildren. Ben makes fun of one of my daughters because she's popping out babies all the time. He says I have grandchildren like once a week. It's not true. We had twice, 2 last year, actually.
You went to South Carolina like 3 times for that.
He makes fun of how many times I'm leaving to go to Greenville, South Carolina for a 3-year-old's birthday party. I'm an overcomer, and I bolded the couple of things that are nearest and dearest to my heart. We all have a story. Even Franklin Graham would tell you he was raised in a little bit of a dysfunctional family. Billy Graham didn't have a perfect family. Franklin did drugs and had a mess up of a life until he was like 37 years old. So I think we choose whether we overcome or not. I'm a licensed realtor since September 2010, almost 14 years. I can talk fast, so you guys keep up with me because he didn't give me enough time.
Hang on, you got plenty of time.
Do I?
Yeah, I got a screen share. They said they're not seeing the screen.
Oh, that's not good. They missed your screen.
They did.
We can go back. Team owner in my 7th year.
Keep going. We'll get
Okay,
it.
can I keep going?
Yeah.
Productivity coach for 6 years, ALC member for 7 years. This is the first year and, well, my 8th year that I don't stay on the ALC. I just needed to pull back and focus on my team and really growing it. Really messing with my slide.
It'll be okay. For some reason, it's not. It's
Okay,
pausing.
I've done bold 4 times, and you guys, I'm gonna preach bold. I got licensed September 2010, and the very next spring, I think it was the 2nd year bold was introduced. It was in Baton Rouge. I lived in Louisiana, husband's in the river industry, and the best thing I could have done was go take bold. It gave me the tools I needed to be able to move up to Western Kentucky, not knowing one person. And last year, out of 500 realtors, I finished number 12. So I'm a hard worker, but bold gave me the tools to be able to know how to go after percent owners and expired. And I didn't need to know anybody to start climbing the ranks. Okay, so just do bold a lot.
A lot.
A lot.
Okay.
He pushed me into doing bold in last year, and then he left. Bold started, he was with us one, and then he came up here.
I did.
And it's like, you coward.
It's not true. I was there to get it started.
No, all 7 weeks, and Aaron, I disagree with you. I don't want to do it for 6 months.
It's not letting me screen share and it's making me mad. I love Apple.
Does it, can he make some help? I can't. I'm not tech savvy.
No? Well, just continue. Don't stop. I'll get her working here in a second.
I think that's it. Okay, so how do I get to my next screen? Because it's not, it's just.
You got it?
No,
There
there
you
we go. Okay, so there's my high school sweetheart. We were just in the Dominican Republic. This was taken 2 weeks ago. And the beaches are beautiful there. Absolutely. We were in an all-inclusive resort. There's my 9 grandchildren that Ben makes fun of.
Notice they're all the same age.
They're not. So those are my twins in that picture, my son. So Kelsey's on the right of me, Chelsea's on the left, and Cameron are single births 5 years later. It was easier than the twins. But my newest, so we have Ava, who's 14. I was raised in a family of 5 girls, remember, no boys? And we got 7 strapping boys. And then we got our baby girl Caraway, and she's 3 months old. And Charlie, the little one right here, is the one turning 3 on Friday, so I'm heading over there to see all of these people.
Ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Okay, and so I want to talk to you guys, go ahead, about wins in 2023. But before we do this, you have a questionnaire in front of you. Okay, and maybe we'll go through. Yeah, let's do the questionnaire now. So I just want you to shout out some of your answers to me.
I'm gonna work on this while you're doing the questionnaire.
You work on that. Did I hand out all my questionnaires?
Mallory's got one. Let me grab it.
Let me borrow hers really quick, because I think I gave them all. I didn't know with spring break, how many of y'all would be here.
Mallory opened it to the Zoom.
Okay, so how much do you want to improve your habits, your life? Does anybody have a pin on there? What number do we have? Okay, do you have empowering thoughts? And one of you answered already, or limiting beliefs? How many of you wrote with the show of hands, empowering thoughts? Okay, good. And the rest of you have limiting beliefs?
Both.
Both? Okay, that's really good, because that's a true statement for probably all of us. In any given moment, I can go from empowering to limiting at any given moment. And so you really have to frisk your thoughts. You really have to pay attention to what's going through your head at all times, because that's where the battle is. Do you set goals every year?
Right.
How many? Okay, intend, we can't do try and goals, we intend to set goals every year. How many of you, show of hands, have a goal poster or a vision board right now for this year? Okay, good. The rest of you, it's not too late. What? Okay, I would say intentionally put pictures on there. I have a tiny house. The tiny house was on a vision board probably 5 years ago. My husband and I built it. We hired a contractor. It's 3 miles from Kentucky Lake, from a boat launch. And everything on that vision board 5 years ago came true. Every single one. And I think it's because it was mostly pictures, a few words, and I looked at it every day as we kept on building. I had a stack of books on there because I'm a reader, and I've always tried to get Ben to be a reader, and he likes articles. But they're good. They have information. That's good. Do you follow through with your goals? Right, and so this talk is largely about follow through, because goals aren't worth nothing if we're not gonna follow through on them, right? They're just gonna discourage us, actually. Do you stick to a schedule?
But that's written down.
Okay, right?
It has to be written down.
It's kind of important. The first thing Autumn did for me when I made her director of operations was say, I need a calendar for you, Amy. And so I leaned back and looked in her office, and she said, I need to know where you are at all times. And it kind of freaked me out a little bit. But she really did need to know where I was, because I was living by schedule in my head, but sometimes it didn't work. Do you have good sleep habits?
No.
Yes. Okay, why do you think I asked that question? Sleep is so important. And we Americans undervalue it. Do you know your body can't fight cancer with X amount of sleep at night? Your body can't detoxify without X amount of sleep at night. You need minimum 7 hours for your body to go through the full cycle of detoxifying and getting the garbage. God made us with amazing bodies to do amazing things, and we sabotage it every time we get 4 or 5 or 6 hours of sleep. I didn't know that till I read an article about sleep, so I would challenge you to Google that. Do you value health and fitness? Anybody in here besides Aaron value health and fitness? Show of hands. So who all works out regularly, at least 3 times a week? Okay, I'm gonna challenge the rest of you guys to get going. It's gonna change everything. Okay, so Okay, somebody tell me a win that you had in 2023.
I had a new baby,
You have what?
I had a new baby,
That's a big win. Congratulations. So that new baby's how old?
one man.
One now. So you're going in March.
I did, the postpartum was rough, but we got there.
You got a finger right.
My husband, when I was pregnant with twins, gained more weight than I did the first 6 months. Don't trip over that, Amy. I just did. And so the second time I got pregnant, I had a second birth. And I'd say, I'm full, can you finish this? He said, oh no, I learned the first time. Because I had twins and I didn't know I was having twins and I got full so quick because the whole uterus was up like it was the third trimester instead of the first. And I couldn't eat that much and Joe got fat. So he had to lose that. What's another win in 2023? win?
We opened a title company,
You what?
we opened a title company.
Nice. That's a good win. Is it the one right back in the corner that I saw? That's great. Anything in-house you guys can do, I think is fabulous. Any other wins?
Personal for me was starting here.
Awesome. Were you somewhere else?
Yes.
Okay, that's a huge win. I've only been KW all of my life, but I've built a downline and I've seen enough out there to know that we're agent centric, say no more, right? Everybody else is broker centric. So congratulations, that's a great big win. Okay, and so this was a big one for me. This is a terrible picture. And when I deadlifted 195 pounds, when I started March a year ago, I couldn't lift 75 pounds.
Wow.
I know. And so I hired a strength trainer, Greg. I was his productivity coach. He came out of that world in Louisville and kind of tanked when his wife was cheating on him and divorced him. And he became a realtor and was floundering. And I'm the one that got him back into the world he belongs in. And so I'm bench pressing 110 pounds right now. Again, maybe 40 pounds. But what I noticed as I'm getting older is I wasn't standing up straight anymore. And I felt much older than what I was. When Joe would say to me, when at the tiny house, Amy, help me lift this mower in the back of the pickup, I could no longer help him lift that mower, and I wasn't okay with that. I'm okay with growing older because I have to be, but I'm never gonna become feeble, and I'm not gonna become frail. And so guys, I really encourage. He said to me about a month ago, Amy, he said, I want you to go into competition, and I started laughing, because I thought he was joking. He wasn't joking. I'm 62 years old and holding for 60 to 65-year-olds in the state of Kentucky, the record is 108.2. I'm bench pressing 110 right now, and I'm working on 115. So Greg and I are gonna go into competition, and I'm gonna get the record, but he wants me to do at least 120, so I hold it for a while. I have no idea how long this gal has been in there, but I'm pretty proud of this. This has taken me physically back 15 years. Like I'm 45. And so guys, do something. What I used to teach aerobics, I used to own Amy's Aerobics and Fitness for years. The more you do, the more you feel like doing, right? The opposite is true. The less you do, the less you feel like doing. So that's all I'm gonna preach on that. Habits quiz, we already did that. And so, goal setting and follow through, build good habits, break bad ones. Has anybody read this book, Atomic Habits? Okay, so there's a couple of you in here. Well, I don't think you'll be bored because we're gonna review the psychology. Ben said to me, we were going to Cincinnati, wherever I rode in your car with you, coming back, I think, or coming back.
Yeah.
And I was working on this teaching, and he said, all those books say the same thing. I would say, absolutely not this book. So the Christian version of this book would be, the power to change. Forget who the author's by, but he quotes Atomic Habits throughout that whole book. The ALC read it one time, and I think 3 of us read it, and it was a good book, but I hold fast, this is a better one. And so my talk is really largely gonna be around this book because it was life-changing, has been, still is life-changing for me. So I got a question. You need to know your audience whenever you speak. A show of hands, who's been licensed less than 5 years in this room? So 5 of you, 6 of you, okay? So more than, in between that to 10 years. Okay, and who's been licensed over 10 years? So how long?
20.
20? Okay, you got me beat. 17, I'm 14. 19, good for you. Anybody else? 16, well, you're good. And you're gonna be at 20 and 25 before you know it, right? Okay, so this is gonna apply to all y'all, whether you're brand new agents or you're seasoned agents or whatever. And so you do just ignore the handout part at the top. I could not find this on my laptop to save my soul. And I know it's on there somewhere, but even my admin couldn't find it, so I don't know where it is. It poofed. But anyway, so we're gonna fill this out together. If I sentence, you know how much you're gonna retain? Less than 20%. But if I ask you questions and I go sentence, and we fill in the blanks, how much do you think you're gonna retain? 60 to 80%, depending on your learning style. I'm very kinesthetic. If I don't interact, just auditory or visual doesn't do it for this little girl. I gotta feel, and that's why I like them in the blank, because it helps me remain. Okay, so let me make sure. Ben said I'm not on model. He said I'm mostly on model.
Very close.
It's just rude that he needs to point that out. I am on model with the exception, I still work with buyers. As the rainmaker, as the listing specialist, one of the 2 listing specialists. And I think the reason, and I really had to analyze why I refuse to give up with that, Ben Garola, I was on Beyond Uganda's board for 8 years until December. I've been to Uganda 4 times. He's used me 12 times. Do you think I want to hand him off to one of my team? I don't. I traveled to the Dominican Republic with me and his wife. I have Ken and Heidi Lewis. They've used me 7 times. Do you think I really want to hand them? I have such a tight-knit relationship with them that when Heidi had surgery and it botched, I was over at their house that night, praying over her and bringing her the kind of chair she needed. I am too much of an extrovert and too much of a people person. On the disc, on the eye, I'm a 99. I'm not gonna, and I think that's why, Ben, I still like to show houses. I still like the process. 75% of what I do is listing and about 25. So that's where I'm off model, and that's why I'm off model. How many teams do we have in here? 2, and the rest are individual agents? Okay. That's kind of important. So we're gonna really work probably a little bit more closely with the individual agents. Erin, have you heard of Working Genius? Have you heard of Working Genius?
No.
I would tell you to write that down and look into it. My team is being coached through the Working Genius right now. And it's a personality thing, but it's 100% focused on where your joy comes with working and where your energy comes with working. And interestingly enough, we hit burnout in some of the arena where we're most skilled at, but it's not where we get joy, not where we have energy. And I had no idea. And that's probably why I needed to step out of productivity coaching. I'm pretty good at it, and I really like to see people succeed at a high level. And I just believe in having tools in my toolbox, and I can give you the help you with getting those tools. But it was also my burnout, and I had no idea. So let's just jump in. And I gave you guys 50 habits of highly successful people. That's for you to look at. And I want you to pick 10 of those 50, highlight them later on today, and decide which ones you're gonna really focus on. How do you eat an elephant? 1 bite at a time, right? And so if that shuts you down, pick 3. Just pick 3. When you go to family reunion or mega camp, I love mega camp, love. Probably because it's just not as quite a high energy, because I'm high energy anyway, and I kind of like to get to chill and not have to chase clouds. But it's so good. And so just don't let it, I used to read the Proverbs 31 woman and say, oh man, I'm nothing like her. Absolutely nothing like her. And yet, then God said to me, it's just a model, Amy. Just pick 1 or 2 things and strive to be like her. And so I would just tell you to do that. So we talked about how incredible Ben is, and I want you guys to email me in a year and tell me if you agree with that. I'm just kidding. Okay, so let's talk about the first fill in the blanks. A habit is a routine or behavior that is performed regularly is the first fill in the blank. Stick with me. If you miss a blank, I'm a type A personality. My blanks need to be filled in. Or I can't listen to the rest of the thought. Okay, so just let me know. And in many cases, automatically with the same habits, you'll end up with the same results. You would agree with that statement, right? If you do the same thing, nothing's gonna change. A slight change in your daily habits can guide your life to a very different destination. That slide where I was lifting weights is proof of that slight change. It just meant I had to get committed 3 times a week to an hour and a half a day. That's all it meant. It meant something had to go for me to fit that in, and I started saying no to more things. So with destination matters. Success is the product of daily habits, not once in a lifetime transformations. It doesn't matter how successful you are right now. What matters is whether your habits are putting you on the path towards success. So with a show of hands, how many of you feel like you're on the path to success? Okay, and there's several of you that didn't raise your hand. Can one great soul share with me why you feel like you're not on the path to
So I'm not
success?
going to the gym like I need to be,
Okay,
and I'm not going to bed early enough like I need to be. And there's a lot of things in my life that I just need to just.
yeah,
refocus.
need is an interesting word, right? We do need it, but yet we don't seem to want it bad enough. So thank you for sharing. Thank you for your transparency.
I want it, but
Yep.
it's not.
Yep. It's easy to underestimate the value. Your next fill in the blank is value. It's easy to underestimate the value of making small improvements. Minor improvements in your daily habits will give you a sense of control. We humans need to feel like we're in control of our life. And when I'm not doing my habits, my good habits, I feel out of control. And I don't feel like I'm firing on all 4 cylinders. I feel like I'm getting by. I feel like I'm probably the queen of flying by the seat of my pants. That's probably the best way I can say it. So one of my habits for 2024, and Austin, my listening specialist, is so proud of me. I usually come in on 2 wheels to an appointment or into something. And since January, I'm arriving 10 to 15 minutes early. And do you know how much stress that relieves for me? It just takes it out of the equation. Instead of on again, I gotta get there, I gotta get there, I gotta make up 2 minutes. So I don't arrive 2 minutes after, I arrive at 9 o'clock. And so now I'm arriving at 10 till 9 or 8:45, even if I sit in my car. And Diana could post it, maps, coaching, both, they all say it. It's amazing what just one little goal set for this year has made a huge difference in my body not feeling stressed out. And that's kind of a big deal. Small habits will help you fulfill your potential. Remember, one of my questions are you fulfilling your potential? So potential, does everybody have their lines filled in so far? Okay, good. Tiny changes make a big difference. Changes that seem small and unimportant at first will compound into remarkable results over time if you're willing to stick with them. A long series of small wins and tiny breakthroughs spells out progress. Start small. If you guys don't take anything from here, just start small. What time do you normally go to bed? Sorry, I'm gonna pick up time.
2 in the morning.
Oh my gosh, I'm tired already. So maybe.
I did go to bed early.
You're what, Madison? You're an owl.
I am.
We're either AMers or we're PMers.
I am.
And I've always been an AM.
He's a morning.
Mhm. So usually opposite the track, that's what it goes.
Well, and we work together, we live together, so when he goes to bed, it's my time to have the house to myself.
I get it.
So I'm just
Well,
like,
then, I understand. So I would challenge you, that's tiny step, go to bed at midnight. So I'm not gonna go to bed any later than midnight. And you see what that 2 hours difference and then back it up to 30 minutes. I mean, I wouldn't try to say I'm gonna be in bed at 1 o'clock every night. That's just not gonna happen.
Right.
Because you're not wired that way.
Right.
But I get to challenge you, maybe do a midnight, maybe.
Okay.
Okay, all big things come from small beginnings. The seed of every habit is a single tiny decision. But as that decision is repeated, a habit sprouts and grows bigger. Habits are compound interest of self-improvement. One thing I did put on that screen that maybe you picked up is I value self-improvement so much. And I think it's because I came from a really dysfunctional family. And it was survival of the fittest, and mom drank to numb her pain because my father had new girlfriends. And 5 little girls got caught in that mess. And I cannot tell you, I think that's where my self-improvement, I really do, because I just remember wanting to go to school and feeling like the other kids and knowing that their families were happier than our families. We had to wear masks. We were in a town of 200 people, 13 in my graduating class, 50 in the whole high school. Everybody knew our business. My mother was one of the 2 tangerons, and I'm happy to say that she was sober 28 years. She got radically set free from her alcoholism in Omaha, Nebraska, in a treatment center, a Methodist treatment center, where she met Jesus. That was a game changer. Then she came back to my house and Jesus free. And I know what she was, and I was 16 years old, and it was like, oh, great. But I had some explicits in front of that Jesus free that I'm not really proud of. We were in a highly dysfunctional family. And then, the effects of your habits multiply as you repeat them. They seem to make little difference on any given day, and yet the impact they deliver over the months and years can be enormous. We make a few changes, but the results never seem to come quickly, and so we slide back into our previous routines. Remember, transformation takes time. Guys, I think this is at a really good time because mold is getting ready to start. That's a transformation in and of itself. And so again, don't let this overwhelm you. Keep it close by and review it. Review it regularly. Don't just put it in your stack of handouts that you've gotten. The same is true of bad habits left unchecked, compound into toxic results. But a slight change in your daily habits can guide your life to a very different destination. I want to read something to you, just a quick paragraph on page 18. So I'm so kinesthetic that I underline, I highlight, I write out to the side, oh dear God, that's. And this is how I learned. And so I like having books in my hands. I did listen to an audiobook on the way up here. Dr. John Ortberg, The Life You've Always Wanted, highly recommend that one. Your outcomes are a lagging measure of your habits. Your net worth is a lagging measure of your financial habits. Your weight is a lagging measure of your eating habits. So if somebody said I overeat over there, I can do still, but not much anymore. Your knowledge is a lagging measure of your learning habits. Your clutter is a lagging measure of your cleaning habits. You get what you repeat. If you want to predict where you'll end up in life, all you have to do is follow the curve of tiny gains or tiny losses and see how your daily choices will compound 10 or 20 years down the line. Are you spending less than you earn each month? Right? Are you making it into the gym each week? Are you reading books and learning something new each day? Tiny battles like these are the ones that will define your future self. You guys me too, are gonna blink and in 5 years is gonna be gone. That's how fast, and the older we get, I never understood it. I still don't understand it, that the older we get, the faster it goes. Other than I think it's because our plates are too full. I just think we can't live in the moment. So by saving $8 a day, you'll have $3,000 in a year. By reading 20 pages a day, you'll read 30 books a year. By walking 10,000 steps per day, you will have run 70 marathons a year. Wow, I'm a wimp. I only ran half marathons. I was a runner for 41 years. My lower back doesn't love it now, but I did triathlons. I'm a swim instructor for 17 years and taught swimming lessons. And I like triathlons because I got to cross train a lot. I got sick of just running. And so, but I never did a marathon, and I'm kind of glad I didn't because my kids did them, my brother-in-law did them, my sister did them. And after 25 years of jogging, they weren't jogging anymore, and I still ran for another 15 years. Because my hips were good, my knees were good, my lower back was good, so I might be okay that I wasn't a marathon runner. Never underestimate the power of small habits. I love this handout. If you want a copy of it at the end, let me know. I love quotes. I love Bible verses. They feed my soul and they grow me like, I don't know, I can't explain it. They just do. Goals versus systems. Write this down if you've never heard it. Have y'all heard of systems are sexy up here? Systems are sexy. Okay, write that down. One of the best things Autumn and I did was go to Cincinnati and attend Stephanie's class called Systems Are Sexy. And so this is gonna be, you can have goals, but if you don't have systems in place, those goals are not gonna more than likely be attained. Results have very little to do with goals. We set and everything to do with the systems we follow. Two blanks, goals and systems. Goals are the result you want to achieve. Systems are about the processes that lead to those results. The purpose of setting goals is to win the game. I can just hear Bill or that video you play to win the game. The purpose of building systems is to continue playing the game, and goals are good for setting a direction, but systems are best for making progress. Problems arise when we spend too much time thinking about our goals and not enough time designing our systems. Ultimately, it is our commitment to the process that will determine your progress. I think this next statement is so true. You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. I didn't know as a team owner that I needed, well, I knew I needed an operations manual. I did, and I thought I had one until we went to systems like that. And I looked at Autumn and said, oh my gosh, we gotta start all over. I didn't know that I needed onboarding systems. For some of you guys, you might think, well, that's a no-brainer. Not for me. I'm out busy selling real estate and running a team and productivity coaching and being on a board and going to Uganda and being on the LC and being in charge of all the training for 3 offices. And so it didn't dawn on me that I need an onboarding. So systems, I'm happy to say we just submitted our first operations manual. We called Stephanie back at Systems Are Sexy and said, what would you charge us to send this operations manual and give us feedback, because we're kind of at a standstill. But we have an operations manual that I'm kind of proud of now. And if something happens to me, it's spelled out in that operations manual what you're gonna do. If something happens to Autumn, she's our transaction coordinator, we've got things spelled out so we can still keep going without her. And that's kind of important, because you just don't know.
Those are about the what to achieve.
Goals are about the results you want to achieve. I like this breakdown because it just really simplifies what it all means.
Right.
Okay, and so a systems first mentality provides the antidote. When you fall in love with the process rather than the product, you don't have to wait to give yourself permission to be happy. You can be satisfied anytime your system is running. Aaron, I got a question for you. Why do you go to the gym? To improve your system fitness.
Well, my long-term goal is so that regardless of my age, I feel good as well.
To me, it's about quality of life.
Yeah.
We kayak, I still water ski, I still hike. I want to be able to do what I want to do. We have Camp Tiny House for the grandchildren. You gotta be potty trained to come to Camp Tiny House. So those littlest ones haven't been yet. And Papa and I take them out and we go on hikes and we go swimming and we go kayaking. And I want to be able to, we zip line. I want to be able to do all that. I'm all about, if I could give you guys one reason to start exercising, it's about quality of life. When I see people that are my age and they're walking like this and they're hunched over and they've got a cigarette, sorry if you smoke. My mother died of emphysema, let me say that, at age 68. So I don't do so well with that part of it all because she can still be here if she would have chosen that. And so I'm all about that. Aaron, I'm with you. I just want to feel good no matter what age I'm in. And I think it's all intertwined. But what's up here is impacting what's up here. You can't do one without the other. You just can't. And when I leave the gym, I'm tired, but I feel a little bit like Rocky. A little bit. And some days, I mean, when Greg took me over, and I almost put that slide up there, I have a picture of it from last week. He put me in these things, I don't know what they're even called, but my goal is to be able to do 3 pull-ups with unassisted. And I think I'm gonna have to lose 2 more pounds to have it unassisted. When I started off with that machine, I had to have 100 pounds push me up. Now I'm down to 40 pounds are helping to push me up. I'm doing 60 more on my own. And he put me in these little things and he goes, Amy, just try one. Can you just lift your legs one time? Because it's a free hang, lift up. And I did 4 3 times. And boy, was my body shaking, but he's like, wow, that's impressive. And so the core could do what I needed it to do. A year ago, the core couldn't do one push-up. And I'm working on 5 sets of 10 men's push-ups. And so, yeah, it's good stuff. The meaning of the phrase atomic habits, a regular practice or routine that is not only small and easy to do, but also the source of incredible power. I like power in my life. I like to know that I can power up to do whatever I need to do. So atomic habits and power. By now you probably realize that an atomic habit refers to a tiny change. Next blank. A marginal gain, a 1% improvement. But atomic habits are not just any old habits, however small. They are little habits that are part of a larger system. Atomic habits are the building blocks. Building blocks. So when I used to teach swimming lessons all those years ago, the youngest class I would take was 3 and 4 year olds, and I only took 4 of them, because many times I would catch them underwater, 2 or 3 at a time. And I wanted them to learn how to swim at 3 and 4 years old, and they did. But I didn't start off with freestyle. I didn't start off with the elementary backstroke. I started off with streamline. And so you're in the water and you're looking straight down and you're kicking. And I had one mother that hired me for her 18-month-old little boy because she couldn't keep him out of the pool. And she said, Amy, we're going on vacation in a couple of weeks. And I taught that little boy in very cold water down in Louisiana. It was April still, and it was still chilly, but she needed him to be okay. And so I taught little Evan streamline. Kick, and I would hold his little legs and make him kick right instead of wild, you know? And I'd get a call a week later, and she said, it worked. And I said, what worked? She said, we set our stuff down by the pool at the beach, and she said he was gone. And she said, I looked over in the pool, and there's little Evan doing his streamline back to the stairs. Guess what we worked on that week with that little 18-month-old, right? It's building blocks. I'm not going to teach Evan about stroking until the next year, or maybe even the next year. We introduce treading water. They're not going to be able to tread water until they're 5 or 6 years old. It's all building blocks, no matter what it is that we do. Your habits shape your identity. And so guys, this is where I told Ben he was wrong. I've not read a book about changing habits that talked about your identity being all wrapped up in it like this book does. It really got me thinking about a lot of how I see myself. Identity is about what we believe. So it comes down to changing what you believe about yourself or what we believe about ourselves. Behind every system of actions are a system of beliefs. Most people don't even consider identity change when they set out to improve. They set goals without considering the beliefs that drive their actions. They never shift the way they look at themselves, and they don't realize that their old identity can sabotage their new plans for change. It's hard to change your habits if you never change the underlying beliefs that led to your past behavior. You have a new goal and a new plan, but you haven't changed who you are. Make sense? The ultimate form of intrinsic motivation is that word, is when a habit becomes part of your identity. It's one thing it's one thing to say I'm the type of person who wants this. Is something very different to say I'm the type of person who is this. I'm a stranger. That's what I am. I'm a learner. I'm a reader. And we're going to talk about how important that you say, I am an exerciser, right? Just saying that out loud gets it back into the rear of your brain. You got to hear it audibly for it to go back in to get into the subconscious. I don't understand it. I just know I have household from that in my life. The more pride, and I'm talking about good pride because there's good pride and bad pride. The more good pride you have in a particular aspect of your identity, the more motivated you will be to maintain the habits associated with it. Once your pride gets involved, you'll fight tooth and nail to maintain your habits. I'm proud of the fact that I can deadlift 195 pounds and my goal is 225. I'm not gonna stop until I get to, and I know how to do it right, so I don't hurt my lower back. And that's That's mine. That's where I need to be. True behavior change is identity change. You might start a habit because of motivation, but the only reason to stick with one is that it becomes a part of your identity. Is this all resonating? Have you heard this before? Those of you who have read this book. The goal is not to read a book, the goal is to become a reader. The goal is not to run a marathon, the goal is to become a runner. The goal is not to make a few phone calls, the goal is to become a lead generator, right? I'm a lead generating machine. And when you tell yourself that, it's not I have to lead generate, I get to lead generate. One word makes all the difference in the world when you go to do your lead generation. What you do is an indication of the type of person you believe that you are, either consciously or subconsciously. So guys, I'm going to challenge you to really pay attention to your self-talk. We all have self-talk. We're constantly talking to ourselves, whether we realize it or not. What do you say when you talk to yourself? I was in Mary Kay all those years ago. For 16 years, I became a director, drove a free car. And I had no idea until I went to director in training in Dallas, Texas, all those years ago, how bad my self-talk was. I was calling myself a stupid idiot when I did something wrong. And when they really had us focus on that in DIT school, it was like, holy buckets, this is not good. And so I began out loud saying, I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. I am really smart. And guys, I've not suffered too much. What has gotten me through life is my hard work ethic and that I have a buttload of common sense. I'm so thankful for the common sense God gave me. I'm not a super high IQ. My son is way higher IQ than I am. And maybe my husband too. But this I know, I'm smart. And if you tell yourself that, you step into that. If you tell yourself the opposite, you step into that as well. What you do is an indication of the type of person you believe that you are, whether it's consciously or subconsciously. The biggest barrier to positive change at any level is identity conflict, where we all have identity conflict at different times in our life. Good habits can make rational sense, but if they conflict with your identity, you will fail to put them into action. The more deeply a thought or action is tied to your identity, the more difficult it is to change it. Did you get that? The more deeply a thought or action is tied to your identity, the more difficult it is to change it. When you have repeated a story to yourself for years, it is easy to slide into these mental grooves and accept them as fact. So think about growing up in a dysfunctional family. Anybody else in here grew up in a dysfunctional family? If we're to be honest, Ben has told me some stories about your family. I
My grandmother.
She was so honored. I was so honored. She put Ben's grandchild in the headlock.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she was a little bitty thing. Okay, did I give you the very last one? Difficult, in fact, you have that? Okay, just want to make sure. Okay. Okay, on any given day, you may struggle with your habits because you're too busy, or you're too tired, or you're too overwhelmed, or hundreds of other reasons. Over the long run, however, the real reason you fail to stick to new habits, is that your self-image gets in the way. That's why you can't get too attached to one version of your identity.
What's the first fill in the blank on any given day?
Struggle. I'm almost done, Billy. And then progress requires unlearning. Becoming the best version of yourself requires you to continuously edit your beliefs and to upgrade and expand your identity. Your identity emerges out of your habits. More precisely, your habits are how you embody your identity. The more you repeat a behavior, the more you reinforce the identity associated with that behavior. Whatever your identity is right now, you only believe it because you have proof of it. The process of building habits is actually the process of becoming yourself. I was gonna read a little bit, another paragraph, I'm gonna skip that. We change bit by bit, day by day, habit by habit. The most practical way to change who you are is to change what you do. So does anybody beat yourself up because you watch too much TV? Do you ever binge watch?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, I haven't watched TV except sporting events, because I love sports, in probably 20 years. I used to be a Young and the Restless junkie all those years ago in college, and we call it the old and the useless now, because it is. But what I would challenge you to do is for 30 days, stop. For 30 days, don't do it, no matter how hard it gets. When I used to be addicted to Young and the Restless, because I'm number 4 or 5 girls, I was probably 6, 7, 8 years old when the Young and the Restless came out to be soap opera. And my older sisters were watching it, so I sat down with them and watched it. And I used to schedule my college classes around the old and the useless. And my advisor would get so mad at me, why can't you take that 11 o'clock? I didn't want to tell her, because we didn't have VCRs back then and you couldn't record anything, and I was addicted. And so when I gave up the Young and the Restless, probably 25, 28, 30 years ago, a long time ago. Well, my twins were 3, they just turned 35. So 32 years ago, I gave it up. On Fridays is when the cliffhanger happened, so you know what I had to do for a few Fridays? I had to go get in the shower. When I knew the cliffhanger was in the last 15 minutes, and it worked. And then somebody, I was teaching Bible study, and somebody in my class, I did a smart thing, I told them I was giving it up, and so I had accountability. They would check in on me. Of course, accountability is really an inside job, but it does help when people support you and encourage you, right? And so she got me this shirt that said, let me see, all of God's children are all my children. Anyway, throughout the whole shirt, it had every single song, all the days of our lives. It had every single, all my children, little children. And it was the coolest t-shirt, and I wore it proudly because I broke a really bad habit. And I never picked it back up again. And I'm not saying watching TV is bad, hear my heart, but if it's keeping you from doing some really good habits in your life, then it becomes a bad thing, right? So I would challenge you, just go cold turkey, and for 30 days, fill it with exercise, fill it with some reading, fill it with some things that you've been wanting to do, decluttering, whatever. There's just a common thread with successful people, like the John Ortbergs or the John Maxwells of the world, that they all kind of live the same kind of life, and look where they are. Kind of interesting. So we change bit by bit. I said that you guys got all those 3 habits. Each time you write a page, you're a writer. I wanted to write a book, and it's called Relentless Storms. Yes.
I just want to give a quick testimony to that. My wife and I gave up watching, we'd always get the kids to bed. We'd have, I'm tired, this and that. And we would just, watch whatever, Netflix, but this year, actually in the end of December, we put the kids to bed and we just get in the Word, we do a little study, and we haven't,
And I bet you don't miss what you used to do.
No, and one, it's amazing because, like, I know this isn't new to me life and even refreshing me, but, and your quote you did right here, the more you do, the more you feel like doing, that was really true for us. Because at first it was like, you watch a show, I'm like, no, let's get in the Word and let's, you're gonna read the Bible and everything. And now it's like, we're excited for it, and we actually are a lot more we actually know each other.
Yeah, it's amazing. You really can't communicate while you're watching something.
Yeah.
When people say, let's go hang out at the movies, I don't think hanging out at the movies is hanging out. I think we're sitting in silence watching a movie, and that's fine, if I like a good movie. I'm very picky about what I'm gonna go see, but I like a good movie. So each time you practice the violin, you are a musician. Even though Cameron started my son at 14 years old, and it was awful for a while. When he graduated from high school, he could play canon. And it was beautiful with his teacher. And it's like, he's a musician. Each time you start a workout, you are an athlete. Tell yourself that, I'm an athlete. And you might giggle a little bit while you're saying it, as you soar, right? Ortho Sport, Young Living, a great oil blend that takes soreness away. Amazing overnight. I highly recommend it. Each time you start a workout, you're an athlete. Each time you encourage your employees, you are a leader. Each time you make phone calls or knock on a door, you are a lead generator. I like that. Each habit not only gets results, but also teaches you something far more important. And guys, this is where the rubber meets the road. Do you trust yourself? That blank, to trust yourself. I think we have lack of trust. I say I'm gonna do it, but then I don't do it. I don't trust myself. And I never thought about that until I read this book. You start to believe you can accomplish these things, that's your next blank. When the votes mount up and the evidence begins to change, the story you tell yourself begins to change as well. When I first started working out at a gym, I was a fish out of water. I didn't know what any of these machines were. I had no idea what a Smith machine did. I had no idea, and I would look back there with all those buff people and think, I don't belong there. Now those buff people say, ma'am, are you done with that machine? And I say, just give me 5 more reps. And I have zero intimidation. I have no problem working out with the big guns, even though I maybe not be one of them, but I'm becoming. I'm an athlete, right? Your goal is to simply, okay, did I give you all that one? Evidence begins to change the story. The story you tell yourself begins to change as well. What is the story you're telling yourself? And I'm gonna have to ask Ben to give me 5 minutes at the end because I just want to get back from you. Your goal is to simply win the majority of the time. It's a 2-step process. Decide the type of person you want to be and prove it to yourself with small wins. Are you willing to become the type of person you want to become? You have the power, if your next one would like to change, your beliefs about yourself. Your identity is not set in stone. Thank God my identity was not set in stone because I was the clown. If you've been in a dysfunctional family, I've been making peace with my past, free to forgive, search for significance. In making peace with my past, my oldest sister was a surrogate spouse. Jill was the scapegoat. Julie was the peacemaker. I was the scapegoat and the clown. I became a clown to match what was going on at home. And my little sister was a lost child. Thank God that's not my identity at all. And I don't have to wear any masks. I get to tell you all my warts and all, and some of them I might be a little proud of. Are you willing to become the type of person you want to become? You have the power to change your beliefs about yourself. Your identity is not set in stone. You have the choice in every moment. Do you guys realize every single minute of the day we're making a choice? What am I going to eat? Am I going to get up 15 minutes early so I have time to go stretch? Whatever. We're making a choice. Some of you are making a choice right now. Where do you eat? Because your stomach's might be growling. Your identity is not set in stone. You have a choice in every moment. You can choose the identity you want to reinforce today and the habits you choose today. It all comes down to 3 things. Fill in these blanks. Habit formation is your first one. Behavior change is your second one. And continuous improvement is your third one. So just to whet your appetite, if this hasn't at all for this book, the book also has the secret to self-control, kind of a big deal, right? We lack self-control in many moments. I can do it really good one day and terrible the next. The 4 laws to behavior change, how to build better habits in 4 simple steps, habit stacking, I love habit stacking, how to find and fix the causes of your bad habits, and so much more. Highly recommend. I should have bought a book and I should have had a drawing and I didn't think about it until the way up here. So give me an aha. What resonated with you? What spoke to you?
I think everything I go through, the same thing, so it's like, is it finally gonna get into your bedroom? I think a lot of the training, even if it's around social media, haven't done the same thing that I need to get into these habits. It's like shoving me in that direction. Thank you.
You know what? It's like when we're supposed to be doing something, it all kind of just shows up to remind you what you're supposed to be doing. Yeah, that is, me too, me too. Somebody else? Yes.
I was just gonna say identity, that just really stuck in my head, is the whole identity piece of it is identifying who you are and then
you know, becoming that person.
One of my favorite things about both is on the last day, they put a piece of paper in the back and everybody goes around the room and they write down things about you. Mine is hanging up right in my desk where I live down, right, where I see every day, I see what people think about me. That helps reinforce my identity. Right? Somebody else.
I think like this just kind of, for me, one thing is I historically had long-term goals, and when I really broke it down by like more weekly than like say for the year, I get a lot more successful because it's like you see like the tangible results of what you're saying, like the small gains over time. So once you do something for like 30 days and you do it weekly, then it becomes that habit. Success.
Right, very good. The 12-week year comes from, have you read the 12-week year? So it's a book about having 4 years in one. So every quarter represents a year. And think about it, we want to close 100 houses and here it is September and I've only closed 60. If I would have been tracking 25 a quarter or 25 a year, if you will, which is why it's called the 12-week year, we get more done when we do it by that book. Because the sense of urgency is there. I need to get my phone calls in a day. And for me, bold on 100, I love it and I hate it, but I can do 50 and still go on my appointments. My goal is to have 2 to 3 listening appointments a week, and some weeks I have coffee. And so, yeah, that's really, really good. Thank you for sharing. Anybody else? Yes.
Yeah, I like the results. I've heard that you do the goals set.
Yes, guys, systems are sexy was a game changer. A game changer. And I can't recommend it enough. And it's in Cincinnati. Matter of fact, there's another sign up for it right now. I think it's sometime in April or May. Systems are sexy. Stephanie's not going to be teaching it, somebody else is. I thought about Autumn and I going again because you can only absorb so much. It's like career visioning or anything. You need to take it a whole bunch of times full to get the full benefit of it because you can only implement so much and retain so much. I love quotes. A pessimist glass is half empty. An optimist glass is half full. A psalmist says my cup runs over. And so if you want a copy of this, I have this hanging up in my office because that is me through and through. Guys, thank you so much for your time. We can go back to that second slide, Ben, so they know who you really are if we need to.
We go back to the second
Right, so
slide.
you can show the people who missed it, and I just appreciate you guys so much. Let me say really quick, the things that have changed, these books have impacted me the most. 3 years ago, I read this book, Fast, Feast, Repeat. Somebody in my Bible study just said to me, Amy, God told me to give you this book, and it's like, okay. And so I said, can you tell me how to start tomorrow? She said, go back and read chapter 3, 4, and 5. And so I started at April 27th, 3 years ago. And then I went back last year and read Delay, Don't Deny by the same author, Jen Stevens, G-I-N, Stevens. But this one, if I have to recommend, is my hands down favorite. It debunkles, is that a word, debunkles? Thank you. It totally dispels everything we've been taught in the medical community and the nutrition community. I've said since the 90s that the pyramid is upside down, the food pyramid. You know what we're being taught is a lie. And fasting is really, really good for you. So I told Devin last night, because I was at their house, I said, don't feed me in the morning. I don't open my window. Ben calls it a door. Is your door open, Amy? It's a window. And I don't usually open my window till 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I've shrank 18 pounds. It would be 25, but I've gained 5 pounds of muscle. And I'm okay with that because I'm fit back in my smaller clothes. I haven't been able to fit back in 5 years. And so this is my new lifestyle. This is what I will do until God calls me home because it works. It just works for me. I don't get lightheaded. I'm not hypoglycemic. So there's going to be certain body types that might struggle with this, but you don't have to keep it close. There's so many health benefits. The other thing, this is on my list to read when I leave here. You guys heard her? How many people are family reunion?
That's my favorite.
So I think Tony Robbins was given a little bit too much time, and I think she should have been given more time. That's me personally. I love Tony Robbins, but I would like to hear more from her. So on the way home, I drove from Nashville midnight until 2 a.m. in the morning, and I listened to some podcasts of hers that were so good. But just her talk about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 countdown. I can't tell you how many times I've ended up at the gym because I'm laying in bed, it's cold outside, like 10 degrees. And it's like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, just get out of bed and I read. And so this is my next read. I just would really encourage you guys, audiobooks, if you're not big time readers. I wasn't a reader growing up. Our family, it was survival of the fittest. And my mother was a school teacher and it was survival of the fittest. I didn't grow up loving reading. And I probably started reading when I homeschooled for 18 years. I told my kids I was a reader and that was a lie because I wanted all of them to become readers. And so I would get the big weekly reader posters and it would say, reading can take you anywhere you want to go. I could read about Africa and be there because I'm reading all about it and it's engaging all my senses and I'm there. And so any other final closing thoughts, any questions? Yes.
So how do you consider the identity, like let's say, your past maybe like Marvel or that thing, but in order to change to a realtor, being a realtor, like how do you, the process that you go through becoming like, I am the reader, I am the best realtor, like how do you change the identity, like whatever from the past?
You know what, that's a good question. My identity is wrapped in people. So it's because on the disc, I'm a 99 on the I, on the D, I'm an 87 or 84, depending which year. On the C, I'm only 17 or 7. I'm not super over, I'm not anything junior, I'm not anything out at all. And then on number 47. So in how I understand it, I pick my fulfillment, my identity is wrapped in people. And so everybody needs our help, right? And so I think if you look at that a little bit different, instead of I have to lead generate, I get to help people. I get to help people. And guys, some of them are harder, some of them I want to fire, right? And some of them I've made lifelong friends. I helped his wife twice. I helped Devin sell her house and then I helped her buy a house. And so I get to step into people's lives and guys, that's hallowed ground, especially when they're going through hard stuff. It's definitely hallowed ground. So with your identity, you have to decide why do you do what you do? What is your big why? Do you have a big why?
So to help the community that I'm serving, the why is so that they can do school foundation program, a bit of food. There is a why for being in this.
Good. My big why started off just getting my son through college because I put my twin through college and we were broke. And all the money for college was gone. And so my big why when I started real estate was we gotta have money for Cameron through college. And $350,000 later and 5 degrees, Cameron has 3, he's got a double master's and the girls have undergraduate degrees. My kids went through college debt free. And yeah, and so now my big why, then my big why became really to help people and it still is. But as retirement's coming closer and closer, we can see it somewhere over yonder. I want to at least take 20 years. It's for our retirement. So we bought a fourplex. I'm an investor. Don't I have rental houses in Louisiana? And we decided to sell them 2 or 3 years after we came up to Paducah because most of our income was being eaten up by having to hire everything out. And so we got rid of those little houses and I said to Joe, if I ever do this again, I want a multifamily. I've got 19 units listed for 2.8 million and those same owners wanted to sell their fourplex. And I said, I think I want to buy it. And we did. And we've only owned it 7, 8, 9 months. And it's making us a 40% profit every month. Just because we came in and we made some changes and there's a garage on one end and now they have to pay $1,100 to rent that big 2.5 car garage with that 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, primary suite and all in it. And so it's really, yeah. And so I think our identity, we have different hats, right? Wife, I have Mimi, I have mother, I have realtor, I have coach, you name it, team owner, right? All these different hats we wear. And I think our identity can be a little different in each one, right? But I think it's all in one. Did I answer your question? Anybody else? Sorry, Ben, I really went over.
That's right. I think you kept it pretty good. So good. Thank you. So we do have some lunches got here. We got some Jimmy John's in there for you guys. And Amy said she's gonna stay for 6 or 7 hours. If y'all want to ask her question.
I've got to go to Greenville, South Carolina. I'll get there at 11 o'clock tonight.
No, I think give her another class. She drove all the way up here. Yeah, we do appreciate Jamie. Thank you very much.
You're so welcome. It was my pleasure. I wanted to see where he works. I wanted to tell you guys that I bless you for putting up with him.